everyone, and welcome to episode 50 of the Anatomy of Knitting podcast. My name is Erin, and I will be your host. Today is October 3rd, 2014. It is currently 10 to 9 p.m., and I am just being able to sit down to record. I wanted to record it earlier, however, this family has been... we've just had the plague for like the last month, I think. I went almost 5 weeks with a cold. It was really bad, and I think after 2.5 weeks it was better, and then I started getting sick again, and so I'm finally better, and so I figured I'd record right before we head back to the States for a quick visit. Should be fun. We're going to visit you're probably hearing Scout the cat. Come on, hop up. Come on, hop up. There you go. Scout the cat. So yeah, we're going back to the States soon, and we should be there for Halloween. Black cat for Halloween. Okay, so in this episode, I have got, I think, a fair amount of stuff here, kind of all around me, to tell you about. I've got some knitting, I've got some finished objects, I've got some sewing, I've got some spinning, and I've got some stash acquisitions. Sweet Pea, can you sit down, please? Thank you. So we shall get started. First off, I will show you the couple of finished objects that I have. First off, I will tell you about this. This is my Color Affection shawl. It is knit out of Hazelnut's Artisan Sock Yarn, and I don't remember the colorways. Should have it still pulled up on my Ravelry profile. And apparently I didn't write down which colorways it is. Oh well. But it's like this kind of deep bottle green, and then this kind of gray cement color, and then this kind of limey green color. And I really like it. This has ended up being like my Ireland shawl, because I wore it when we took our trip out here to find a house to live in. And then now I'm wearing it now. So yeah, that's that. The last time I podcasted, I was still working on the Vigeant. And that is all done. This is in the volumized lace. You can see, here I'll just hold it kind of one layer up. You can see here's the mesh that I was just about to get to when I last podcasted. I've blocked it, but I haven't aggressively blocked it, because I don't have a good space to do that right now. I need to kind of solve that issue, because I've got a fair amount of big things. So this is the Vigeant, and I have the same problem that Leslie from the Knit Girls podcast has, and that you pull it over your head and there's just a lot that kind of bulks up around here. The circumference isn't as large as I had hoped for, because I suppose I'm a broad-shouldered lady. Yeah, so that's a little frustrating, but it is what it is. I think with a more aggressive block, things will work out a little bit more. As you can see, you can't really see. I mean, you can see through it there, but you can't really see my hand. So I think if I were able to stretch it out a little bit more, I think I could get more of a circumference, that it would be kind of the way it's intended. I'm moderately happy with it. I'm glad I've used up the skein of yarn. That's one thing that I'm glad about. You're stuck? There you go. So I finished that, and then since then I found that one of my former coworkers was expecting a baby, and so I offered to sew her something or knit a sweater. So she decided she wanted a sweater. So I ended up knitting the Wee Kriya, and I've knit a Kriya, an adult-sized Kriya for myself that I think I'm going to rip out just because I haven't worn it, and the yarn is really nice. So there's the Wee Kriya. It's kind of got this garter yoke. The way it's knit is that you knit, let's see here, you knit this little tab right there, and then you end up picking up stitches around, ooh, it's all mirrored, around the tab like that. And then you're able to shape the yoke and the sleeves all that way. Here, let me kind of, gotta angle this down a little more, I think. There we go. Oh, that's much better. And then you can choose to do either functional pockets or non-functional pockets, and I chose to do the non-functional pockets. And this is by Isolde Teague. Let's see. She has come out. I need to get buttons. I haven't found a good button store here in Ireland yet. Isolde Teague's come out with a bunch of patterns that are based on her adult-sized sweaters, but in a small sweater size. So I'll be taking this over to the baby who has since been born, and the mom, and get to meet them. That's really good. This ended up, I ended up knitting this out of a superwash. I think it's Dale of Norway. Say it's Baby Ull. I might be wrong about the yarn, but it is superwash. I made sure that would be the case. So those are the finished objects that I have. Knitting wise, I haven't been doing all that much. This is kind of sad. I only have this sock to show you. This is Blue Moon Fiber Arts Socks That Rock in the Krabby McHappy Pants colorway. The colors are all off because it's nighttime. And this is my usual inch of 1 by 1, cuff until I feel like stopping, slip stitch heel, and then a stockinette stitch foot, and then my regular old toe. So that's the sock there. Oh, I totally forgot. I have one more finished object to show you. I'm currently wearing them. And then there is, oh yeah, there is the next sock, and you can see there's kind of a funny line there. So can you see it on the other side? Oh yes, you can. One of the plies of the sock yarn had a knot in it. Like it broke and then they knotted it, which I decided to take out. So it kind of screwed up the color repeat, but whatever. It's not going to bother me all that much. I don't think I worked on this a whole heck of a lot. This is kind of why it's taken forever. Oh! I took it to, oh, the ball fell on the ground. The Blarney Knit Night. There's a new knitting group in, excuse me, the village of Blarney. You know, like Blarney Castle, you know, Blarney Stone. And so that's, Blarney is currently about 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away from where I live. So it's super easy to go to. And so I did most of the knitting on that there and in the knitting group that I go to at the library here. Unfortunately, the knitting group at Blarney doesn't work very well with my schedule currently because I wasn't able to go it's every other week. So I was able to go to the first week, and then 2 weeks later was last Friday, and I was in Galway for a sewing retreat, or not a retreat, but a sewing day, and then next Friday I may be able to go, but it's the night before we take our trip. So we'll see if I end up going, but that's the one bit of knitting that I've been able to crank out. And then these are the other finished objects. These are another pair of stockinette stitch socks. I'll only take off one, but you can see I do have the other one on. This is, the yarn is just on the other side of, it's the Lana Grossa Milenvite Wave. See, I have a little bit left. That's the yarn. And again, it's just kind of the boring old stockinette stitch socks. It's super easy and brainless to be able to pick up and do. So it's good for me when I have the babies. And I go to knitting groups. Yeah, I think that is it for all of the knitting that I have done. Yeah, spinning wise, this is some of the spinning that I've done for that Polworth fleece. I'd say that the color that you can see up here is the most accurate. I've been calling it the caramel fleece. It's not really, maybe it's more of an oatmeal. I'll call it an oatmeal. But I have 2 big bobbins. These are my Hanson mini spinner. And I weighed them, and I want to say they were over 400 grams a piece. So they should come up with some pretty decent yardage. And then this is what I have on the mini spinner. So I've got a little bit more to go before I equal those other bobbins. And I have maybe about a third of one of those big beehives left of the fleece. I would have more, but I had maybe about a quarter of the previous beehive's amounts when some cat decided to destroy it because we had house guests and everything was in a tizzy, so they decided that they needed to mess up my fiber. But that's okay, whatever. You live and you learn. So now I keep them in their comforter bags, and that way one specific cat can't get to it. Yeah. I've been mainly doing the spinning because I want to get some of these fleeces that I brought over, spun up so I can use them. I was going to say something else about that. It's been a tough day. My husband's currently in London right now. He's going to the Destination Star Trek 3 event. I'm not a big Star Trek fan, but he is. And the boys are definitely becoming toddlers, having opinions. And today's battle was over bibs. And it was just like, oh, goodness. I was like, how am I going to survive this? But you just have to take it moment by moment. It was a battle of wills, I guess. Okay. Other than that, that's why this episode is going to be a little. I think that's it for knitting stuff. This episode's chocolate candy is going to be the Cadbury Dairy Milk with Chips Ahoy. I don't think I've had this one yet. I know there's an Oreo one. Now there's a Chips Ahoy one. I've also had one that's Turkish Delight. It has Turkish Delight in it, which I had no idea what exactly Turkish Delight was. I thought it would be like caramel or something. That's kind of the image that I've always had in my head, but it's like a jelly that's made with rose water, I think. And so it's quite an interesting taste. I would recommend trying it at least. It's not my cup of tea, but I'm glad I at least tried it. Anyway, I'll tell you about my yarn acquisitions. So while I was in Galway for that sewing day, it was for the Modern Quilters of Ireland. And I met, well, let's see, probably about 10 or 11 ladies there. It was a whole day. I've never actually sewn for 8 hours straight. And so that was nice, but also tiring. I took along a project that uses half square triangles. So I had half square triangles are one way that you can make them is that you take a square piece of fabric, you draw a line from one corner to another, to the opposite corner, and then you sew a 1/4 inch from that line twice. So the line that you marked is in between two seams. So then you cut them apart, you press them open, and then you trim to the size you need. And that's what I spent most of my day doing, those things. I'm working on a quilt, Camille Ross Kelly's Lucky quilt, if you aren't so interested, but I didn't bring any of that to show you. Anyway, when that day was, excuse me, when that day was done, we finished at about 5. So I had done Airbnb, and I had gotten a little room in a house that was literally across the street from the University of Ireland, Galway. I think that's the name of the university that we were at. And so I got on the internet, and I was like, I wonder if there are any yarn stores around here. There weren't, or that are open specifically, because it was 5 o'clock already. There weren't any yarn-specific stores, but I found a wool store that sold like hand-knit sweaters and scarves and woven objects as well. So they closed at 6, and it was getting to be about 5:20. So I quickly put the address in my Google Maps app on the iPhone, which then gave me walking directions. And I ended up getting there with about 10 minutes to spare before they closed. And so I found this yarn. Oh man, the color is so off. It is... it is not showing up very well. It's sort of like an apple green with some tweed flecks in it, which you can kind of see the tweed. It appears to be a 2-ply yarn. It is knit on a US 7, and there's about 210 yards, and this is merino. And it's spun by Donegal Yarns, Kildare County, Donegal in Ireland. There's a little bit of Irish there. And I bought 10 skeins, so I have about 2,000 yards. And I think I have found the right sweater project. Hello Scout. Yeah, there's nothing that I can do to make the color turn out right. It's more apple-y, emerald-y green, I suppose. So I found that, and then I ended up going to the Radisson Blue, that's in Galway, and had sushi. Apparently sushi is very difficult to find in Ireland, which I have discovered. At least affordable sushi. There's a sushi place that's downtown in Cork that's good, but you pay the price that you would expect to pay for 8 rolls, but you only get 4 rolls, 4 pieces of the roll. So that's really frustrating. It's super delicious, but it's not worth that. Anyway, so after I finished up at the restaurant. I walked home, and then I decided to see if I could find any other wool yarn type of things to go to. And I ended up finding, and let me find the website. It is the Sheep and Wool Center, and that's www.sheepandwoolcenter, and the center is CENTRE.com. This is located in more Northern Ireland, not actual Northern Ireland, but more Northern Ireland, in the Conmara. The address is Linane, Conmara, Ireland. At the website, which I gave you, if you scroll to the bottom, there is a video that you can watch about the Sheep and Wool Center. And basically, it's it's a pretty nice place to check out if you're in the area. They have a bunch of equipment. There are a bunch of there are two old weaving looms. There are some great wheels. She had some modern wheels, and you go in. You pay €5 to see the museum, and it ended up being just me when I went. So I had a little private tour of the museum. I mean, the museum was one room, so it wasn't like the British Museum or something. But it was a really good experience, and I'm going to stop the recording here and put in some pictures, and then see if I can do kind of a narrative over that. That way you can kind of check out what I saw. So, hold on. All right, so this is the road that is on the way to the Sheep and Wool Center. As you can see here, I encountered some sheep while I was driving, and that was an interesting experience. I've never done that before. And this is the view from the parking lot that's across the street from the Sheep and Wool Center. As you can see, there's the tide is out, and apparently the sheep like to come in and eat that seaweed. This is just a different view of the same area where the Sheep and Wool Center is located. Very picturesque. And this is the actual Sheep and Wool Center. It's pretty small. That circular room there is a cafe, and then the museum is attached on the side there. So you first get to watch a video about the Sheep and Wool Center, which you can find on their website. And then there are these posters that just show all of the different kind of sheep breeds that there are. Pretty interesting. And you can see that there's Jacobs here, and here's just some more pictures of the different sheep breeds that you can find in the area. And then specifically, this next picture, this is the type of sheep. This Claddagh sheep is the type of sheep that you saw that were on the road in that first picture that I showed. This is just the hand cards that they use to demonstrate, and some of the wool that they use to make rolags out of. Here is some natural dye supplies. Just kind of a picturesque little display. And then they have a selection of different knit stitches, and then the meanings behind them, or meanings behind some of them. And all these different stitches were used in fishermen's sweaters. And this is the great wheel that the lady there demonstrated. Apparently she and one other woman are the only people who know how to use this wheel. And then this is the flyer assembly for the wheel, which I thought was pretty interesting. I had no idea that the tension created from the wheel and then the parts that are holding it onto the mother of all there that was the way it was done. And this is the loom that they have. Pretty interesting. So after all the museum, I was done, and I found this beautiful yarn. Sort of a purpley, heathery, yummy, delicious yarn. I also bought enough of this to make a sweater. It's going to be really lovely. And I think out of the 2 yarns that I purchased, or the 2 sets of yarns that I purchased, I think I've already come up with a sweater pattern for it, but I have to see if the gauge is correct. Yeah, so, excuse me. After that, I ended up coming home, and the Sheep and Wool Center, excuse me, still kind of fighting this cough. The Sheep and Wool Center is a little under 4 hours of a drive from here, so I had a pretty long drive that I ended up catching up on some podcasts with. And I got home, and that's that. So that's the end of all of the kind of trip recap and yarn acquisitions. Next, I'll show you what I've been sewing. I told you last time about the Halloween costume that I did for myself. Well, I've since finished that. I totally forgot to get the quilt to show you that I did. Excuse me. So I worked on the boys' Halloween costumes. This is so cute. Oh my god, you're just gonna die when you see how cute this costume is. So I told you that they're gonna be sheep for Halloween. Let me show you here. Are their little sheep feet. So there's the sheep feet. And then there's the sheep jumpsuit. So cute! They've got a bell and a little ribbon here. It's all been sewn on. Sorry about the jangling. And the piece de resistance. Oh my god. Sheep hats with ears. So cute! Oh my goodness. So far, the boys have hated to try on the outfits. And I can't get a baby to wear this for longer than 5 seconds. Isn't that how it always goes? Yeah, Scout says that's how it always goes. So, we'll see how Halloween goes. Hopefully, they will cooperate. Let's see. The other things that I've been working on, excuse me, since I have finished all of the Halloween sewing, yay! I decided to start on Christmas gifts, and so I'm only going to show you about a quarter of this. This is Nathaniel's Birthmas quilt, and I call it his Birthmas quilt because the boys were born on Christmas. So the entire thing is the chevrons. See? Woo! Can't see. There we go. It's these chevrons. These are the chevrons are made out of the half square triangles that I was talking about. You see, triangle, there, triangle, and it's a square when you're all done. And I made this the same way that I made the ones that I was talking to you about. So his quilt top is all done, and I'm currently working on Malcolm's quilt top. His is coming along super fast. It's like so amazing how fast these are going. I have to find backing fabric, which I'm going to hopefully try and find in the States when we go, because I'll be staying with my parents for most of the time that we're there. So that means I can go to Fabric Depot. And then this is Malcolm's quilt. what it's going to look like. So I swapped out these big rectangles with that fabric there, because I just thought this line of the polka dot was just way too big and distracting. There. So it's going to be the animals and their little, there's giraffes and monkeys. It's mainly a monkey quilt. I continued the monkey theme from last year. He got sock monkeys last year, and then it'll be more monkeys. He does this like, ooh, 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 when he really wants something, so we call him our monkey. Let's see. I don't think I'll tell you about that. Just some dresses I'm planning on sewing while we're in the States, maybe. The quilt that I showed you the pieces of last time, I've also taken pictures of, so I can insert those after this, so you can see that as well. It's currently upstairs on the bed, and yeah, so I'll do that now. So hold on. So this is the quilt that I ended up making for the Irish Patchwork Society's Summer Challenge. And you'll remember that I had that tumbler thing, and so I decided to make these kind of star-looking objects. As you can see here, I ended up quilting the negative space white background with circular pebbles, and then inside the stars I did swirls. And then this is just a view of the back where you can see the quilting. I also used the leftover tumbler blocks in that strip of patchwork there, just so I'd have a decorative back and a decorative front. I kind of like that look. And then you can see here I did a feather on that black border there. And this is just another view of all the quilting. There's the pebbles and the swirls, the ribbon candy, the feather, and then I just did some meandering in the outside. There were a few other entrants into the summer challenge. However, I ended up winning it. So for the Southern Branch, I was the winner, and I ended up winning a desk lamp, magnifying desk lamp. So that's the end of all of the crafty things that I wanted to talk about, and almost the end of the episode. There were a few more things that I wanted to mention. One, Christine from the Yarnings podcast, she has resurrected her audio podcast, but now it is in video format. So find her. Her feed looks like it just, at least for me, just stayed to be the same feed that it was, and so I didn't have to do anything new to get the video episode, so it's just downloading automatically. So be on the lookout for that. She's really good. And then the second thing is, I know a lot of podcasters have probably already mentioned this, but Wendy Frew of the Sassy Pants Knitter podcast is currently in the hospital. She is fighting hairy cell leukemia, or as she likes to call it, her hairy ballsack cancer. If you have a chance, she has requested that instead of viewers buying and sending things to her, she's requesting that people can knit a hat for someone with cancer and then donate it to their local cancer ward. Or if you want to help her specifically, I know there's a GoFundMe that you can find on via her SPK Ravelry group, because she's kind of in a complicated situation where the contract that she had with the National Guard and the new contractors that were running her department, it's this whole like cluster BS. So she may have some issues with her insurance and all of that jazz. So if if you'd like to help her out monetary wise, there's that GoFundMe. I know some yarn dyers have offered up some special colorways. I have personally purchased one of those from Highland Handmaids, excuse me. There is also something going on in her Ravelry group that there's a banner on the that topic that she shouldn't look at it. So I'm not going to mention what it is specifically, but if you'd like to help her out, go check that out. Because I know she may end up watching this podcast, and if she's not spoiled, I don't want to spoil her. So check that out. And then I asked her if there was like any sort of central place that we could look to see if what all the things that we could do to help her. And she told me that no specific thing was up that lists everything. But if you want to keep on top of any chance where you can help her out, show her your support, just keep an eye on the Ravelry group. And you can send her messages of encouragement and love through her email. And if you'd like to do that, let me pull that up. She's sassypantsknitter@gmail.com. So if you just want to kind of give her a virtual hug, that's a good way to do it. So those are all the things that I have to talk about today. I should be recording again relatively soon. I know Christine and I were talking about maybe doing a joint recording together at some point while I was visiting. Otherwise, the next time I record will definitely be in November, because I don't think I'll be able to record anything while I'm in the States. So, thank you for watching. Sorry this has been a little bit of a episode, but it's day 2 of being with the babies by myself, and tonight was a bath night. Oh my gosh. But it's all done, and they're sleeping, and now I'm done recording, and I'm gonna sit and watch some Netflix and edit this and do some more spinning, hopefully. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good, well, I was going to say have a good night, but it's probably not night for you. So have a good day. Excuse me. Stupid cough. Have a good day, and hope everything crafty-wise is going really well for you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye. Hi. Bye. 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 Bye.
No.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hi. Hi.
Bye.
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 Locked. Bye.